I'm 65 with decades of consistent training. I've been doing my own version of park bench workouts for a while now, but for the past 4 months, my progress has stopped. Well, you know, I'm training 3 to 4 days per week with your basic movements and nothing is changing. Do you have any suggestions of breaking through these plateaus? Well, Mr. Anonymous, or Miss Anonymous, Mer Anonymous, Monominous, um, it's it's one of those things where I do need just a little bit more information because what do you mean by progress? Um, one of the hard things, and many people, especially these internet experts, have led people to start believing is that improvement is always linear. And that's just not true, man. It's not true in any aspect of life. It's odd that people still believe that you can progress in a linear fashion for a long time. The fact that you've been training a long time is good. And here's another thing I actually like about what you said here is that your progress has stopped for the past 4 months. There's a couple things. Let's go. Let's give you three options. The first option is the one most people ignore until I always joke that I only follow this advice with surgeries, but that's to take some time off. I remember when Carol Katie, she was the American record holder in the discus. She told me one time that the biggest mistake I was making is I wasn't taking 6 to 8 weeks off a year and letting my body recover. Here's the funny thing, Anonymous. I don't now think it's your body that recovers. I think it's your brain. We used to have this thing in American football. We would talk about how you'd have a boy, he played his freshman year for you, sophomore year, and junior year for you, and the kid never really got it. But then like one day the boy would be walking down the hall and go, oh, and everything would knit and tie together, and you had this kid you were afraid to put on the field, suddenly one of the best athletes out there. If he would have kept playing football every day in that off season, he wouldn't have made the improvement. Sometimes you just have to turn off everything and be walking down the street and go, oh, that's what I need. I think the brain likes to rewatch. That's why I've retired so many times as a discus thrower. Every time I retire and I swear I'm never going to throw again, that's when I'm mowing the lawn, shoveling the snow, walking the dog, and all of a sudden I have this insight that I always say, I wish I would have known this. I start throwing the discus, and weirdly I throw even farther. That's option number one. Option number two is to get yourself on some kind of short-term, 2 week, 3 week, 6 week, and now you're starting to do, my hand's doing this, waffling a little bit. It's possible to go up to 12 weeks, but it's usually 3 weeks of some kind of like challenge. Now you could do it nutritionally, like you could do Phil Maffetone's 2 week ketogenic diet. I don't know if it's going to help you or hurt you. It's 2 weeks, see what happens. You could do a what I call a bus bench program, one of those shorter term programs where you focus on something for a few weeks. You could do one of those challenges. Pat Flynn has a bunch of these 21-day challenges. You can find, I have that 10,000 swing challenge, which for 65 you're going to have to measure that yourself. Okay? And then the third option, so take it off, take time off. Number two, a short-term challenge, diet, focus. And number three is step back and look at your stall. Step back and look what's going on. If you've been doing 3 sets of 8 for 4 months and you've stalled, sliding to something as simple as 5 sets of 3 is going to completely change everything. Sometimes you need, it's a cliche now, but you need that 30,000 foot view on what's going on. You might not be stalled. What might be happening is you just keep feeding the monkey the exact same thing, and what's happening is you get this input gives you that output, and you're just in a position right now of stasis. You're getting what you put in. Am I saying that changing reps is going to be a miracle worker for you? Not necessarily, but it happens. Sometimes increasing load. I noticed about 2 or 3 years ago I got stalled, And I got a free membership to this gym over here. I don't want to give them any. They fired all my friends, so I won't talk about it. But I went in and I started doing machine training. I started training machines for the first time since 1981 or 82, or maybe 86, and probably 85 when I was using the universal machine in a circuit. Well, getting on machines after doing barbells and kettlebells for decades, I mean, everything worked. So those are three options I want you to think about. I want you, and in fact, that's the order I'd like you to try them, and take a little bit of time off, maybe just something like 2 weeks. You can take 5 to 6 weeks off too if you'd like, but try something short. Number two, find a challenge that really challenges you. And number three, just try something as simple as switching up some reps and sets. Okay.